So I thought I'd just talk you through the kit I take when I go fishing on these day trips where I'm roaming around all the time. I tend to stay in a swim for, I don't know, as much as 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. But because I'm moving around all the time, I want to be traveling as light as I absolutely can be. So I've really stripped down to the bare essentials. I've got a chair, I've got a bag that I sling over my shoulder, and I've got a rod, landing net and one bank stick, and that's it. So I'm really stripped down. Fishing with a 4,000 sized reel with 8-pound line straight through to a size 6 hook. The rod I'm using today is a Corum Neoteric FS Power Quiver. It's got a 3-ounce glass tip on it, which I find ideal for chub fishing and their sensitive bites. And I tend to fish on the creases behind snags and obstacles where there's a bit of a slack. So it's a nice example of a overhanging tree, and then you can see very clearly where the crease is, and I'm sort of casting out in front of me and the bait's sort of going with the flow. I'm feeling it hit bottom and landing a couple of meters downstream. What I'll do is I'll just work it at 3 or 4 casts in a line along that crease and swim like this. I've got actually quite a lot of space, so I can start up close next to the tree right in front of me, but I've got all that space all the way down that swim. So in terms of the rig itself, I've got 8-pound main line. I thread a float stop on and one of these running beads with a little snap link swivel on it. This is a 25-gram drum and cage feeder filled with liquidized bread, and then I don't know, about 4 or 5 inches down from that float stop I've got 2 more float stops, and then further down the line I've got the size 6 hook with a bit of bread flake, point of the hook showing. Okay. And what I love about this rig is its absolute simplicity. You've got the first float stop provides a bit of a bolt effect when the fish takes it, and you can adjust the distance between those 2 float stops to give you more free line to the fish when they're biting. And these 2 here, there's 2 here just because it gives it a little bit of extra sort of gripping strength on the line. But it does mean that you can adjust the length of the hook length really easily. And actually also I find that if I do get into a snag, quite often everything will just slide down right up to the eye of the hook, and then I'll be able to pull it out quite comfortably without losing anything. So it's a real simple but really effective rig. So let's get it back in the water anyway and see if we can't tempt a chub. Absolutely beautiful morning. Not a soul in sight as well. Love it. Well, that gives you some sense of how deep the water has been over the last few weeks, doesn't it? It's right up to the pegs on the bank. So you wouldn't even have known that there was a wooden platform there. But it's great to see the river back to its normal levels. Cleared out a bit. Lovely. Well, we've got the first one of the day. I actually missed a bite in this swim, recast, and it took about, I don't know, 3-4 minutes before it went round again, and there's no missing it the second time. It did do me a little bit on these slightly submerged branches, but managed to get the net under it. And let's take a look at it. It's not a monster, but it's all right. First fish of the day though, lovely job. So there you go, first fish of the day. Like I say, not a monster, 4-pounder, but lovely way to start. So let's get this straight back, and hopefully we'll get a few more. So I'm casting onto the edge of the crease, just off the edge of the overhanging trees, letting the feeder hit the bottom, and then it gently sort of swings around in the current underneath the tree. And by the time it's sort of settled and I'm settled, it ends up just under those branches. So I'm now on the fifth swim of the day. Just the one fish at the moment. As you can see, it's really bright. So it's not really what I'd consider ideal conditions for catching fish. But I'm on the next swim now. There's a lovely couple of spots that we can fish here with snags. Lovely crease, bit of pace. Coming off the edge of that tree. There's a few options here, so I'll probably give it 40 minutes or so on this one. Try a couple of the spots, 2 or 3 of the spots. But after such miserable weather over the last few weeks, it's really lovely to be sat in the sunshine. Bonus to be next to the river. No fish there, just keep on moving. Hopefully we'll run into some more at some point. Next swim. So, another swim. I've lost count now, but I'm probably close to double figures in terms of how many spots I've fished so far. It's about 12:30 now, and you know, this sun is, like I said before, is bright, and I'm starting to choose swims that have a bit of shade and shadow. So I think that's where the chub are going to be on a day like this, certainly this time of day. I think it's going to be hard going through the rest of the day, and I'll just have to see what I feel like at the end of the day as the light starts dropping, because I think that's when the bite time's going to come again. But you never know, there's plenty of swims which have got overhanging trees and shadow cast onto the river, especially sort of in the margins. So there's a few spots that I think could still produce fish on a day like this, but let's keep plodding onwards, and hopefully we'll get some more action at some point. You can tell the sun's shining. I haven't seen a boat for months on the river going down here. First bit of sunshine, we've got a bloody speedboat zipping along. There we go. Nice 5-pounder on the breadflake again. Probably peg 11 or 12, something like that. I've lost count. Bright sunny day. I was worried about the sun, but yeah, like I was saying, I was picking spots in the shade and the shadow under snags and near the bank in the shade, and actually 15 minutes of fishing and I've got one, decent one. Lovely job though, excellent. Let's put it back. So that fish put up quite the scrap in the swim that I'm fishing at the moment. There's a lot of overhanging trees and hawthorns in the sort of along the edges where I'm fishing. So those of you who fish for chub will know how they really love to find a snag and bury their heads into the undercut of the bank as well. So it was a good job I had the clutch set, and I use 8-pound line, and that's really important when you've got snags like that. And this is a lovely looking swim. It's got a nice crease, and some nice cover. As you can see, the sun's really starting to set now. Going to lose the light soon, and I'm not really going to fish into darkness, so I might be able to squeeze a couple more swims in before I head back to the car. But it's been a long, tough old day's fishing, but it's been fantastic. Sat out here in the sunshine. I think I was fortunate to get that 5-pounder and that 4-pounder earlier on this morning. It's definitely worth getting up nice and early. And I'm looking forward to getting down here again because I've really enjoyed today. So thanks for watching the video, and please like and subscribe if you oh, hello, bit of interest, that's good. Let's just see if we can't get a fish on camera, that'd be good, wouldn't it? So this is my first cast in this swim since getting here. And it's just same old liquidized bread in a cage feeder. Big old piece of bread flake on a size 6 hook. And there was definite interest. But it's about now you start doubting whether that piece of bread's still on that hook. I think I'll give it a couple of minutes just to see what happens. It's another tap. I feel a bit more confident that the bread's still on there now. I should have hit that last donk there, really. That'd teach me for messing around with the camera when I'm trying to catch a fish. First bit of action I've had though for, I don't know, maybe 4 hours. Just willing that tip to bend round. I'm not sure it's going to anymore. Might have to have a recast. Yeah. Missed it. Oh. Maybe not. Maybe just a bit of patience is required. Just worrying about that bread flake and how delicate it is on that hook. It's sort of hard to tell really how hard they're pulling at the bait, because it's amplified with this light quiver tip that I've got. The thing is, fishing the Thames, this could be a 2-pounder, this could be an 8-pounder or bigger. It's just why I love chub fishing on the Thames. It's awesome. You just don't know what you're going to get, and you could catch an absolute monster. Doesn't look like it's going to happen on this cast though. Let's have a recast. Well, sadly I didn't get another chance on that swim, so I'm making my way down to what's going to be my last swim of the evening, last swim of the day, and it's a bit of a banker swim, so I'm hopeful